So this is basically how you would get your laminate flooring to be flush with what I've made, which is basically a simulated little door jamb door frame. The first step that you want to do is you need to make sure that you cut a gap right here. Now you can use a Dremel tool, an oscillating tool, whatever it takes to get a gap. And you want that gap to be exactly the depth of your laminate flooring plus any underlayment that you have, which is not shown in this simulation. But what you would normally do is you just bring it up to here, get your pencil, scribe a line, and then after that you can cut it out. But here I've already cut it out to make things simple. The idea is to get it nice and flush down there, but you clearly can't fit it down here. So from here we've built the floor starting from this direction, and we've hit this little bit of a hiccup. And all that you need to do is you just need to cut out a corner that will fit right under here, and then after that, step 2 is to modify this groove right here so that you can slide it in without having to bend it this way, which it won't fit. So first, let's take the measurements for the thingy thing, which let's line it up here. And basically, you just want it to, fit between here and here, and this stud here will go all the way to the ground. So somewhere between here and here, it doesn't have to be exact. You make your little, fuck this pencil. You make your tick mark, okay, and that will give you this dimension. And then you start again, this being the threshold of your door would close right here. And then you get this dimension, okay, so somewhere in between here and outside and the stud. You'll make this mark right here. And then those are your 2 critical dimensions. This will clearly be removed. Just get your little speed square. Okay. Doodle your line this direction. Doodle your line this direction. For this cut, I'm using a jigsaw. You can use any saw you want, since this cut will be hidden under the wood. So feel free to use whatever the hell you have. This right here is a down cut blade specific for laminate. If you're using a circular saw or other loud saw, remember to wear ear protection. With the jigsaw, no hearing protection is required. Remember, this cut doesn't have to be exact, so there's no need to really fuss over it and guide it. See? Didn't even hit the line. That's not a problem. But the issue is, if you go to install a cut like this, the traditional way, it will not fit. It bumps up on this piece. So you have to be able to slide it down there, like this, but then you need to be able to engage it with this groove. So, and the camera can zoom in for a bit, what you'll want to do, again, is remove this groove, just this lip. You don't want to cut off the entire thing. You just want to sand this highlighted part down until it's flush with this second groove. That will allow it to slide right in. And you'll find it, I'll show you another way to secure it afterwards. For this, we'll be using a random orbital sander. You can sand it by hand, or if you have a hand plane or a planer, you can use that as well. Fucking hell! Always check that your tools are off before you plug them in. Now, since we're removing material, I'll be using an 80 grit sandpaper. But since it is a softer material, I'll be running the sander at a low speed. Do whatever feels appropriate. Is it still recording?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to record this now. Now my sander has a speed adjustment, and I'll bring that down to about 4. That way I have more control, and you do whatever suits you. The lip just has to come off. This part will be invisible, so it doesn't need to be pretty at all. Still a bit of a groove there, so I'll sand it just a little bit more, but feel free to stick it in once in a while to see if it fits. Once you think you've brought it down to an appropriate level, just see if you can slide that in there, and here you can see that you can. Now, these are just simulated boards. They're only a few inches long, but in the real life, you'll have the full length of the board. You'll have to sand down the entire lip of this entire board. Don't sand anything over here, just one board. Okay, so all you have to do is slide her in and kind of get her secure, and just like that, and that will be bing, bang, boom. Now this is obviously, since we removed one of the mechanical elements of securing it, you'll need to put a thin line of wood glue in. Okay, too much and the moisture in the wood glue might warp your laminate. So you just want a small dab of wood glue, but pretending that I already put wood glue in there, you can see that the laminate flooring is perfectly flush. There's no caulking required. It goes far in there, and it doesn't interfere with the wall stud. And it's also flush with the threshold. That's it.